Blake, potentially one of your Americans, is capable of winning this tournament.
Well, he was ahead 3-1 in that match. Started off like he so normally does, like a house on fire, but boy, he burnt out quickly, and he lost his serve 6 consecutive times in that match.
We saw the best of Gasquet that day, and I wonder whether we'll see the best of Berdych today. If so, then it will be a severe test for Nadal. He's just 20, tall man, 6'4", weighs 196 pounds. He's won 2 singles titles. Last year, the only man apart from Federer and Nadal to win a Masters series. That was in Paris. And before that, the year before in Palermo on clay, he'd been successful. 31 and 17 this year. So a pretty fine season it has been. Final in Halle, 4th round, both in Paris and at Wimbledon. And altogether, I think still improving very fast, this young Czech.
And remember, you talked about him winning the Master Series event in Paris last year, but in 04, the year that he really made that huge jump, well, that was an Olympic year. And in Athens, he was the man that defeated Roger Federer, who was so disappointed not to be able to go there and earn the gold. That was about the only thing he didn't win that year. We talked about the results of Berdych. Well, that one tremendous win last year where he beat Ivan Ljubicic in that Paris final.
Well, now let's look in detail at the world number 2. Here he is at the age of 20. Only Federer stands between him and dominance of world tennis, and on clay he has totally dominated world tennis. He turned pro in 01. Already 17 titles he has won, 11 of them last year, remember, and 7.7 million in the bank. And the win-loss record this year, quite phenomenal, 45 and 5. And of course that leap from 51 at the end of 04 to 2 in 05 with those 11 victories I spoke of.
Yeah, and he has already 17 career singles titles to his name. And what's really great about that is pretty much when he gets to the finals, he wins. He's been in 20 finals, but he's won 17 of 20. And only the loser, really, 2004 in Auckland on a hard court, 2005, to remember that match against Federer, up 2-0 and 4-1 before losing in 5 sets, and then this year's Wimbledon final. So he can play the big matches, and he can do equally as well. Tennis Masters Series this year, well, a winner from both Monte Carlo and Rome.
And we always like to know if they've played each other before. Well, they have, twice, and they're 1 apiece. Both in 05. Borstad on clay was the place where Nadal won, 6-4 in the final set. And Cincinnati, the equivalent of next week's tournament last year, Berdych 6-7, 6-2, 7-6, a very tight one, and I expect a fairly tight one again today.
Well, I'm sure that left an impression with Rafael Nadal, that loss, because that was a night match, lots of crowd and audience watching that match as Berdych was able to pull up the upset.
Here's Nordqvist from Scottsdale in Arizona. Well, he had a nasty match to umpire yesterday. Tommy Haas being very petulant and very rude, and he was very lenient on him, I felt. Probably should have disqualified him, but there we are, he didn't. He won the toss, did Berdych, said he would serve. Best of 3 tie-break sets. He has power, 20 years of age, big serve, big ground strokes, and he will not be intimidated by Nadal. He's going to try to hit Nadal off the court if he can. That was rather close. I wonder if he's going to challenge it.
He's staring like he doesn't believe it was out.
Hardly worth challenging at this early stage of a match, though. Don't want to waste the chances in case it was wrong. Only 2 errors you could make before your challenges end in a set. 1 more, though, in a tiebreak.
Game.
Well, a perfect start by the big Czech. And I think he will need to be serving something like that for most of the match if he's going to stand a chance of winning.
Well, he was able to do it a year ago in Cincinnati. It was a brilliantly played match between these 2 young competitors, and at the end of the match, Berdych really lifted the level of his play, but primarily on the serve.
Served awfully well in Paris too, that last Masters Series event of the year before the Tennis Masters Cup.
Nadal.
There's been a lot of comment about the time that this fella takes between points. 25 seconds only allowed. But he pushes the limit quite often and sometimes exceeds it. Something that he's trying to address. In fact, in a previous match this week, Jerry Armstrong asked him to let's get it moving a little.
He was warned yesterday in his match against Korea's Hung Tak Lee, and that was by Fergus Murphy.
I don't know about you, but I do like to see white clothing like that. I think it looks clean, tidy.
Well, you know, he's 6'4", but he only weighs 196 pounds, and even now he looks more lean now than we've seen him in a long time. Navratil really working.
Well, interesting you should say that, because some of the Czech players have been saying to me that perhaps the one thing he doesn't do is work hard enough.
Yeah, well, you're referring to Berdych's work ethic, but I really think that that's begun to change. It's something that has been talked about for a while. You know how perception becomes reality. And I know that Navratil is very happy with the progress.
Right on the line.
You know, Nadal's forehand's pretty sharp to start this match off with. Pinpoint accuracy from the Spaniard, lining it up.